You ever come across a story online that just completely stops you in your tracks? Well, today we're breaking down a video that does exactly that. It's this incredibly dramatic vision of the rapture, that moment believers are said to be taken from the earth. But this one comes with a pretty shocking twist. Its biggest, loudest warning isn't for the world outside, it's for the people sitting inside the church pews. So let's break it down. In the video, it wastes zero time. It kicks right off with this one really powerful question that gets straight to the heart of the whole thing. And right from the jump, it's making this really bold claim that for a lot of people, real, authentic faith has just turned into another show. This one idea, it's the key to unlocking everything that's about to unfold. And boom, here's where the video's focus gets crystal clear. The message isn't about pointing fingers at people out in clubs or bars. No, it claims that judgment begins in the one place you'd least expect it, the pulpit. It's a really intense internal critique, basically arguing that the people who claim to be leading the way have the most to answer for. So how does this story even make its case? Well, it doesn't just give you a list of complaints. It actually tells a story. We're introduced to this pastor. His name's Elias, and he receives this incredible vision. And in that vision, Jesus guides him through 7 different types of churches, with each one acting like a mirror, reflecting a specific spiritual problem the narrative sees in our world today. Now, you gotta understand, this is a really key point. This isn't just some dusty history lesson about ancient churches from the book of Revelation. The story is using them as powerful symbols, right? As archetypes, to diagnose the spiritual health of congregations right now. It's a pretty clever way to make an ancient text feel super immediate and honestly, deeply personal. So let's just quickly run through these archetypes. First, you've got Ephesus. That's the church that's super busy doing all the right things, but it's lost its passion, its first love. Then there's Pergamum, the one that kind of blurs the lines and compromises with the world. Thyatira is the church that lets false ideas just take root and grow. And Sardis, wow, this one might be the scariest. It looks alive from the outside, but inside it's spiritually dead. And finally, you have Laodicea, the lukewarm church. It's comfortable, it's wealthy, and it's so self-satisfied it has no idea how spiritually poor it really is. This line right here, aimed at that Sardis church, it's one of the most chilling parts of the entire story. I mean, it just nails that whole theme of worship as performance. Can you imagine that? Having a reputation for being alive, full of energy, but secretly you're just hollow? That huge gap between how things look and how they really are, that's the central danger this story's pointing to. Okay, so after setting the stage with all of these warnings, the vision ends, and the story takes this sharp, dramatic turn. The whole narrative just leaps forward to a single moment in time that, according to this story, changes everything for everyone on Earth, instantly. And when it happens, it's portrayed as just instantaneous. There's no countdown. There's no last chance to get things right. The video shows a totally normal Sunday morning, and then, in the blink of an eye, reality as everyone knows it is completely rewritten. So what kicks it all off? It's a sound, a single trumpet blast that echoes across the entire planet. In this telling, it's the divine signal, heard by every single person at the exact same moment, basically saying, time's up. The effect is immediate and, frankly, staggering. In an instant, millions and millions of people just vanish. The story shows these really haunting scenes of empty clothes left behind in moving cars, babies gone from their strollers, a world suddenly filled with these empty spaces where people used to be. And the immediate result, as you can probably imagine, is just absolute chaos. Planes start falling from the sky, cars crash everywhere, and this wave of unbelievable panic just sweeps the entire globe. The world is thrown into total turmoil, and all the people left behind have to face this terrifying new reality. But here's the thing, this single event doesn't just create one new reality, it creates 2. And the story draws this incredibly powerful, immediate contrast between what happens to those who are taken and those who are not. On one side, you have heaven. It's depicted as these huge crowds of people in white robes. Angels are singing, and there's this massive celebration called the wedding feast. It's a scene of just pure joy and triumph. But then you have earth, and it's a scene of complete devastation and regret. People are shown just crying out, saying, "We were the church, and we missed him." I mean, what a heartbreaking realization that their faith, as they practiced it, just wasn't enough. So, what's the whole point of this incredibly dramatic story? It's definitely not just for shock value. The whole narrative is building towards a very specific message, a final call to action for every single person watching. So when you boil it all down, this story is positioning itself as a really urgent, prophetic warning. And the standard it's calling for is incredibly high, a kind of spiritual purity that's described as being without spot or wrinkle. It argues that being truly ready isn't just about what you say you believe, but about how you actually live. The final message is a clear call for some serious self-examination, and to do it now, before it's too late. This last quote really captures the entire message perfectly. It's not about how big the crowd is, it's about the purity of the bride. The narrative is arguing for quality over quantity, for real, genuine devotion over worship that's just a performance. It's a message that values depth and sincerity above everything else. And so, this entire dramatic story that we've just walked through, it all boils down to this one single question. The video leaves its audience, and now us, to think about its ultimate challenge. When that knock finally comes, will you be ready?